Good morning, and we are doing a project over American Sniper. This is Carlos Guzman and Joshua Hack for Psychology 107, Section 513. Chris Kyle from the movie American Sniper was a United States Navy SEAL sniper who served 4 tours in the Middle East. He, like many Americans, enlisted following the attacks on 9/11, driven by patriotism to fight for the country. Over half the movie takes place in Iraq, exemplifying the harsh physical and physiological conditions that contributed to the development of his condition post-traumatic stress disorder. We diagnose Chris Kyle with having a post-traumatic stress disorder, a disorder that develops in some people who have experienced a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. The disorder results in flashbacks, bad dreams, frightening thoughts. It also results in some avoidance tendencies, re-experiencing symptoms, and finally cognition and mood swing symptoms. Given that the film takes place in a war zone, the audience gains an appreciation for the danger Kyle faced, as well as the events which contributed to the development of his PTSD. Kyle did go to a therapist later in the film and was professionally diagnosed with PTSD. In third world countries, psychological disorders are often overlooked due to the gravity of other harsh living conditions such as starvation, thirst, and disease. As a result, a condition such as PTSD might not be diagnosed as it is here in the United States. A common stigma of PTSD in the United States is that the disorder results in violent tendencies when those diagnosed have an episode. Evidence that resulted in our diagnosis of PTSD most prominently includes flashbacks and social disconnectedness. Kyle often re-experiences worst memories from his times overseas, a telltale sign of this condition. An example of such a flashback was a vision he has in which he is forced to shoot a child who had a grenade in order to protect the American soldiers he was providing cover for. And another scene which shows evidence for his disorder is one in which Kyle is seen watching television, and loud explosions, gunshots, and the screams of children are audible. When the camera pans to the TV, however, it seems that the TV is not on and the noises are occurring in Kyle's head. Another flashback to his time in Iraq. Kyle is also seen to be disconnected from his friends and family upon returning home from combat. An example of this disconnectedness would be when Chris returns home from his tour and his wife believes that Chris is not the man she had met. He had changed due to the experiences and more. He doesn't seem to be part of the family anymore, and his wife is discerning the divorce of their marriage. One symptom not shown by Kyle is a cognitive condition in which one has trouble remembering the traumatic events experienced. Chris Kyle, in contrast, remembers his experience in great detail and often re-experiences them just as they happened. Our proposed treatment for Kyle's PTSD is much like that proposed by his therapist in the film. It was recommended that he spend time at the Veterans Association talking to fellow veterans. We feel his experience would be good as well as an opportunity for Kyle to cope with his experiences and meet others who can show empathy for the traumatic events he faced at war. The average person isn't able to relate and understand the experiences which are troubling Kyle, so interactions with fellow veterans might provide this beneficial treatment. This interaction is a benefit of the treatment, however, might raise ethical concerns as it promotes Kyle's re-experiencing of his events as he communicates his stories to other veterans. A possible barrier of this treatment is the lack of community to discuss symptoms and issues with. The experiences of war are completely unique to veterans. Thus, it is only with fellow veterans that many experiencing PTSD will find relief, rather than with a conventional therapist, for example. Another possible barrier is simply a lack of funding for the cause of this disorder, and treatment options to help those who experience PTSD. The portrayal of PTSD in the film appears to be accurate. The symptoms displayed throughout the course of the film are very accurate to those who actually have PTSD. The symptoms were not exaggerated nor downplayed for the effect of pleasing an audience, rather shown as they are to bring awareness to the conditions. Disorders, which one might not often observe, are made more personal through their depiction in film. It allows a closer insight to be obtained and provide viewers with a view into the life of those diagnosed or undiagnosed, which would often otherwise be unattainable. And here we have a bibliography of just some pictures that we use, or our sources. And thank you. This is Carlos Guzman for Psychology 107, and this is our project.